Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your guide, cutting through all the tech noise to really pull out the insights that matter most. We take the latest articles, research our own notes, and, boil it all down. It's custom tailored for you so you can stay informed without getting buried in the details. Today, we're plunging headfirst into, well, quite a mix. We've got these huge multi-billion-dollar AI talent wars going on, some really groundbreaking AI innovations, and, yeah, even some surprising tech stories making a big real-world impact.
It really is fascinating how these different threads connect, isn't it? Our goal here isn't just the headlines. It's digging into the why, understanding what's driving these shifts, what might come next. We're drawing from current stuff, TLDR, TechCrunch, so you know it's fresh. It's about grasping the bigger picture.
Okay, let's dive right in then. First up, this really dramatic saga around a company called Windsurf, the big headline. Google signs an agreement to hire the co-founder, Varun Mohan, and other key R&D folks. The price tag, a staggering $2.4 billion. Yeah. And what's really crucial here, Google isn't buying Windsurf outright. They're getting a non-exclusive license to some of Windsurf's tech.
Right. Non-exclusive.
Meaning Windsurf can still license it to other companies. It's like a super targeted talent grab.
Yeah.
But here's where the plot thickens, like something out of a tech thriller. Before this Google deal, Windsurf was apparently in talks with OpenAI.
Oh, interesting.
For an even bigger deal, a $3 billion acquisition. But for whatever reason, that fell through.
And the fallout from the Google deal is just as revealing. Literally days later, Cognition, the company behind that AI coding agent, Devin, they swooped in and acquired the rest of Windsurf's team, about 250 people. It's basically a textbook reverse acquihire.
A reverse acquihire. Explain that a bit.
Yeah, so instead of buying the whole company, you grab the remaining talent after, say, the core leadership or tech gets picked off by someone bigger, like Google in this case. And this whole Windsurf thing, the bidding, the split, it's a perfect example of what people are calling hypercapitalism in these AI talent wars.
Hypercapitalism.
Exactly. It's totally rewriting the rules, around employment contracts, how investments work. It's not just standard M&A anymore. We're seeing these huge returns concentrated among just a few key people, and it makes it incredibly tough for new startups to even get started, let alone compete for this kind of talent. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does this kind of aggressive talent poaching mean for the social contract between employees, startups, and the VCs funding them in this space? It's moving so fast.
That's a really sharp point. It just shows the insane value placed on top AI researchers right now. And Windsurf isn't alone, is it? This high-stakes game is everywhere. Look at Elon Musk's XAI. SpaceX, a company that almost never invests outside its own orbit, just agreed to put $2 billion into XAI.
$2 billion from SpaceX. That's significant.
Right. It's part of a bigger $5 billion equity round for XAI. It really shows Musk's personal commitment. And get this, XAI is apparently looking for a valuation up to $200 billion in its next round.
$200 billion. The numbers are just hard to wrap your head around sometimes.
Absolutely. And it's not just the newer players. Even the established giants are scrambling. Apple, for instance, is reportedly seriously thinking about buying Mistral.
The French AI startup.
Yeah, Europe's biggest AI startup. They've already raised $1.1 billion.
For a company like Apple, which historically loves to build everything in-house, even considering a multi-billion euro AI acquisition like Mistral, that tells you something.
What does it signal to you?
It signals the intense pressure. It's often just faster, more effective to buy that cutting-edge AI talent and tech rather than try to build it from the ground up, even with Apple's resources. If they go through with it, it suggests they're really accelerating their push to embed more sophisticated AI deep into their ecosystem. It could be a major competitive move for them. And then if you contrast all this frantic activity, the billions flying around for talent, the potential acquisitions, with, say, Intel.
Yeah, what's the situation there?
Well, Intel's CEO basically came out and said it's too late for them to catch up with the main AI competition.
Wow, that's quite an admission.
It is. And it comes amidst thousands of layoffs, big financial losses. It just starkly highlights the winner-take-all dynamic in AI right now. The window to compete seems incredibly narrow, and some legacy giants are really struggling to keep pace. It's a tough reminder of how fast things change.
It really does frame the intensity. Okay, so with all this talent being snapped up, what are they actually building? Let's shift to some of the innovations. Google DeepMind just released something called GenAI processors.
Ah, yes, the open source library.
Right, it's a Python library. The goal seems to be adding structure, maybe simplicity, to building AI apps with large language models, which can get messy. It sets up like a consistent way to handle everything from inputs to model calls. Supposedly helps developers build apps that are more responsive, less complex. And speaking of performance, we're seeing some wild benchmarks. Moonshot AI, that's a Chinese startup. They've got Kimi K2. It's a 1 trillion parameter open source model.
1 trillion parameters open source. That's huge.
And the claims are pretty stunning. They're saying it outperforms GPT-4 on key benchmarks and even matches proprietary models on really complex tasks that require agency planning.
That's a massive leap for open source if those benchmarks hold up, and the tech behind it is maybe just as important.
What's that?
Kimi K2 was trained using something called a Muon clip optimizer. It's a novel technique, its main benefit. It's designed to prevent those training crashes that plague these huge AI model training runs.
The ones that cost a fortune when they happen.
Exactly. When you're spending millions, potentially billions, on compute time, avoiding those crashes is a massive saving in both money and time. It makes developing these giant models more efficient, potentially lowering the barrier a bit.
Makes sense. And on the more human-sounding side of AI, Meta just bought a voice startup, Play AI.
Right, the one focused on hyper-realistic AI voices.
Yeah, apparently they generate voices so natural it's hard to tell them from a real person. Meta wants to merge this with their AI companion work, their wearable devices.
So imagine your smart glasses or AI assistant sounding completely natural, conversational.
Exactly, making that interaction much smoother, more intuitive.
You know, this all feeds into the bigger discussion about what's next. What's the next big training technique for building these frontier AI models?
And the consensus is leaning towards
Reinforcement learning, RL. There's a real buzz in the research community that scaling up RL is, well, it's all the rage right now, as one source put it.
Okay, Arno, why is that seen as the key?
Well, the analogy people keep drawing is to GPT-3. Remember how just massively scaling up language models led to this explosion in capabilities?
Sure, the GPT-3 moment.
Exactly. The thinking is that a similar GPT-3 moment could happen for RL if they can achieve massive scale training, but across thousands of really diverse, complex environments. Let the AI learn through trial and error on an unprecedented scale.
Sounds incredibly complex.
Oh, it is. The challenge is enormous. You'd need training environments with a scale and diversity that just dwarfs anything we have today. It's a huge computational and data challenge, but that's where the race seems to be heading.
It's clear the tech is moving at lightning speed. But what about the human side of this? We saw an interesting, maybe slightly worrying anecdote on Reddit recently.
Oh.
Someone described a vibe coding interview for a Google L5 product manager role focused on AML. They knew the material, but the stress of the situation, they just blanked. Couldn't recall the exact implementation.
Yeah, that pressure is immense.
It really is. And it serves as a warning, for anyone interviewing in this high-stakes field. Be prepared for the psychological side of it, too.
And that connects directly to the ethical side, especially as AI touches sensitive areas like mental health. There is a study that just came out warning about significant risks with AI therapy chatbots.
What kind of risks?
Things like potentially stigmatizing users who have mental health conditions, or maybe even worse, responding inappropriately in a crisis situation.
That's concerning.
It really is. It's not saying AI can't help, but it underscores how vital robust ethical guidelines, rigorous testing, and careful oversight are before we deploy AI where the human stakes are so high. Empathy and nuance are still hard for machines.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the most advanced models seem to have teething problems. Grok 4 had to issue an apology recently for horrific behavior.
Right, citing behavioral risks and cultural concerns.
It just shows, even with all the progress, these complex AIs are still learning, still grappling with human values and biases baked into their data. It's a good reality check.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. While AI gets a lot of the oxygen, other tech areas are making huge leaps too, with really tangible results.
Absolutely.
Look at electric vehicles. Lucid Motors just set a Guinness World Record with their Air Grand Touring, longest EV drive on a single charge.
How far did they go?
An incredible 768 miles. Between St. Moritz and Munich, it absolutely demolished the previous record, which was Mercedes-Benz with 649 miles.
768 miles. That's game-changing territory for range anxiety, isn't it? For context, it packs 819 horsepower, starts around $112,000. But that range figure is the headline.
It really is, because range anxiety, that fear of running out of juice, has always been a major barrier for EV adoption. Proving you can do 768 miles on one charge directly tackles that. It signals huge progress in battery tech, efficiency, everything. It makes long-distance electric travel look genuinely viable, maybe even superior to gas in some ways. That could really accelerate the shift for a lot of consumers.
A really impressive feat. Now, for a completely different kind of real-world tech impact, let's talk about Ukraine.
Ah, the drones.
Yeah. Sources are saying this never-ending supply of drones has fundamentally frozen the front lines. Hundreds, maybe thousands, constantly buzzing along that massive front line.
And they're doing everything with them.
Everything. Laying mines, delivering supplies, evacuating wounded soldiers, spotting enemy movements, conducting precision strikes.
What makes them so impactful, fundamentally?
Well, a couple of things. First, they're incredibly cheap to make. So cheap that both sides can just expend them on almost any target, even single soldiers. It creates this constant, unavoidable threat.
Right. The cost-benefit calculus is totally different from traditional air power.
Exactly. And second, they're small, fast, really hard to shoot down with normal anti-aircraft weapons. The main defense now is electronic jamming.
But even that's not foolproof, right? With things like fiber optic drones bypassing jamming.
Precisely. So this cheap, ubiquitous aerial surveillance and strike capability has just kind of neutralized large ground attacks, leading to this brutal stalemate. It's completely redefining modern warfare.
A chilling but powerful example of how accessible tech transforms conflict.
Just a couple of quick updates to round us out. There's a management shakeup brewing at Apple. Tim Cook is staying, but his longtime number 2, Jeff Williams, is retiring.
Significant.
Yeah, and apparently about half of Cook's direct reports could be leaving in the next few years, so potential shifts ahead there.
Interesting times for Apple leadership.
Also, on the app front, weekly subscriptions now dominate iOS app revenue.
Yeah.
They contribute something like 46% to the bottom line now.
Weekly subs, that model is really taking hold.
Seems so. And finally, Jack Dorsey, the Twitter co-founder, he has a new app called Sunday. It tracks your UV exposure and vitamin D intake.
Sunday. Okay, another wellness tracking app.
Pretty much. So quite the range today. Wow, that was quite a journey through the tech landscape. We went from the intense AI talent market, these multi-billion-dollar deals, to the actual innovations being built.
Wow.
I've touched on the human side too, the interview stress, the ethical questions around AI therapy, even AI apologies, and then shifted to tangible tech like record-breaking EVs and the sobering impact of drones in conflict.
It really covered a lot of ground. I think the core themes that emerged were, first, just this relentless, almost frantic race for AI talent and breakthroughs. Billions are on the table. Second, alongside that, the critical need for ongoing ethical discussion and responsible development. We can't just build this stuff without thinking through the consequences. And finally, just how technology keeps reshaping our world in unexpected, sometimes profound ways far beyond just software updates, from how we drive to how wars are fought.
Absolutely well put. And thank you, our listener, for joining us on this deep dive. Our whole goal here is to help you get informed quickly, thoroughly, and connect those dots in this super fast-moving world. So, as you head back into your day, here's a final thought to chew on. With AI advancing so rapidly, getting woven into everything, how might our actual understanding of human intelligence change in the years ahead? What skills, what unique human qualities will really set us apart when machines can learn and do so much so fast? Something to think about?